Let's talk about something that, makes most of us sweat a little: money. But what if I told you that in just the next few minutes, we could flip that script? Turn all that anxiety into a real feeling of empowerment. That's what we're going to do. We're going to look at personal finance, not as some scary chore, but as your own personal toolkit for building the life you actually want. So be honest. Do you get that little pit in your stomach when you get a notification from your banking app? Or do you ever kind of forget to open your credit card bill? Yeah, if you do, you're not one in a million, you're literally one of millions. That feeling of being totally overwhelmed, it's pretty much the new normal. And look, the very first step to taking back control is just realizing you're not climbing this mountain by yourself. This is a huge collective challenge. So to really get what we're all up against, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. To understand why mastering your money is so critical, we have to face the beast head on. And that beast, it's got a name: debt. As of the third quarter of 2025, the total household debt in the U.S. climbed to a mind-boggling $18.59 trillion. I mean, that number is so big, it's almost meaningless, right? So let's break it down and see what's really going on under the hood.
So this shows us exactly where all that weight is coming from. Mortgages, well, they're the big one, the lion's share, at over $13 trillion. But look at what's right behind it: auto loans and student loans. Both of them are hovering around $1.6 trillion. These are the financial anchors that are really holding so many people back.
Okay, so with a multi-trillion-dollar problem staring us right in the face, where do we even start? Well, we start with a simple but really powerful idea: personal finance. And listen, this isn't just about spreadsheets and budgets. This is the art and the science of making your money work for you so you can build the life you truly want. This is how we fight back. And you know what the best part is? You do not need to be a Wall Street guru to master any of this. We can break it all down into 5 simple core areas. Think of this as your financial roadmap. All right, let's walk through them. First, you've got income. That's all the money coming in. Then there's spending, all the money going out. Next up is saving, what you put aside for short-term goals. Then we've got investing, putting your money to work for the long haul. And finally, protection, that's shielding yourself from life's curveballs with things like insurance. That's it. That's the whole game right there. Every single financial decision you make fits into one of these 5 buckets. You know, when you strip everything else away, personal finance really just boils down to this one simple balance. The goal is crystal clear, even if it's not always easy. Spend less than you earn. Everything, and I mean everything, in the world of finance is built on this one unshakable principle. All right, so we've got the what's, now it's time for the how. Let's dive into 3 powerful foundational strategies that are going to be your playbook for financial success. First up, the dreaded B word: budgeting. But forget about those complicated spreadsheets. The 50-30-20 rule is a total game changer. It's so elegant and simple. You just take your after-tax income and you slice it like this: 50% for your needs, the absolute must-haves. 30% for your wants, the fun stuff that makes life enjoyable. And then here's the magic number. That final 20% is non-negotiable. It goes straight to your future self by paying down debt and building up your savings. This brings us to a concept that can literally change your financial life. Pay yourself first. That 20% for your future, it is not what's left over at the end of the month. It is the very first bill you pay. You pay your future self before you pay anyone else. This is how you build a real financial safety net, an emergency fund with at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses tucked away. Strategy number 3 is all about taming that debt beast, and that starts with understanding your credit score. Most lenders use what's called a FICO score, which is basically your financial report card, and this chart shows you exactly how they grade you. A whopping 35% is just your payment history. Just pay your bills on time every time. Another 30% is how much you owe compared to how much credit you have. Seriously, get those 2 things right and you're already 2/3 of the way to a fantastic score. Okay, we've talked a lot about the rules and the numbers, but here's the real secret. Personal finance is way more about psychology than it is about math. It's an art. It's about your habits, your mindset, and the stories you tell yourself about money. And that's the stuff a spreadsheet can't teach you. So these are the skills that really separate the financially successful from, well, everyone else. It's the discipline to say no to your impulses. It's the foresight to understand that a $3,000 splurge today could cost you $50,000 in retirement. And it's the emotional intelligence to make money decisions with a clear head, not a racing heart. And now for the masterclass. knowing when to break the rules. Look, the textbooks will tell you to always save for retirement. But if you are drowning in credit card debt at 19% interest, probably the smartest financial move you can make is to attack that debt with everything you've got. True financial wisdom isn't about blindly following a set of rules. It's about understanding the principles so deeply that you know how to bend them to your own situation. So here's the bottom line. Taking control of your money, it's a journey. It's about learning the rules, and then it's about learning yourself. And it all starts with just one small intentional step. So that brings us to our final question for you. What's the one financial rule you've been living by that it might be time to break?